There are ways to shorten the schedule. As I try to show you, if you add more resources, you can make things finish faster. But this is called crashing. Okay, crashing is when you add more people. It's like crashing a party. You know, the Wedding Crasher was a movie back then, or maybe even crashing your car. That's unexpected. You know, it's unplanned. So crashing means unplanned addition of staff. It's not something you have thought about, but if you add more people, you will finish faster on some activities. But watch for the law of diminishing returns, because at some point you'll get less value from the resources. Okay. Other things you could do to speed up the project. So these are all schedule compression ways to speed up your project. See, the initial schedule that you develop may not make your boss happy. They'll look at it and they'll be like, this is very long. Can you do something about it? Now you can figure where you can add resources, but you could also look at ways to fast track your project. To fast track the project means to run activities in parallel. So rather than waiting for one to finish to run the other, I can run them at the same time and then I'll finish faster. This is if it's possible to actually run them at the same time. You could also use overtime, and that would help you finish faster. Bring more people, like augment your staff by adding more resources from outside, outsourcing all of pieces of your project out to somebody else who has more resources to do. Or you can pay to expedite shipping, or things that take time, or try to speed up approval cycles if they're taking too long. Upgrading or replacing slower equipment, so better technology, and spreading work over multiple shifts. It's always good if you don't pay them to actually work longer hours or additional shifts. But these are all things that we can do to expedite or speed up the project. But be careful that you only really should be doing this on the critical activities, because if I go and put all this effort on an activity that already had float, it's really not going to help me much. What really dictates, like on this example, what really dictates when the project will finish is D and C, okay? D and C are the ones that I need to shorten. If I can shorten D a bit, I can finish faster, right? And C, if I can finish it, let's say in 3 days, I will finish the project maybe in 11 altogether, 8 and 3, 11. That would make this one also a critical path, because it's also 11 days. You could have more than one critical path, by the way. All right, so you focus on critical activities. You could also look at adjusting the relationship. Sometimes we put things finish to start, but you really should have put them start to start. Like the example I gave you with painting different floors. Rather than waiting for the first floor and then finishing the second, then the third, then the fourth, then going again to do the second coat of paint on the first, the second, the third, the fourth. That's going to take you 8 days. But instead, you could do the first day do the first floor, second day, start painting the second floor, but also paint the second coat on the first floor. So you really need 5 days in the end, because you start to start. So you can look at logic revisions here. You can try to increase your productivity rate, or try to maybe change the way the activities are connected if they don't need to be connected in a specific order. I have an example here that demonstrates how fast tracking and crashing works. So let's say you have a normal project. This is a normal schedule. I mean, this is a schedule with the normal duration at 15 days. See, this person here is going to spend 5 days on their activity. The other person will spend 5 days. Third person spends 5 days. Could be the same person, who knows? But all together, it looks like it will finish in 15 days. Now, there's 15 man days of work. That means the level of effort is really 15 days. And we're doing them with one person on each task at a time. So this one needs 5, this needs 5, this needs 5. They're doing back to back. So we need 15 days to finish them. What if we're able to fast track some of these activities? And we fast track here. All right. Although this same guy here is still doing his 5 days worth of work, the second guy here is doing his 5 days worth of work. Third guy is doing his 5 days worth of work. There are some times when they've overlapped here and here, and that's going to help us save time, and we will finish in 11 days. This is called fast tracking. When you fast track, you do things at the same time. But the problem with doing them at the same time is that you could create issues. Yeah? You could have risks. And I'll give you an example for that. If I wanted to paint the wall and install the carpet in an office building, I would install the carpet first, right? And then I will paint, correct? No, obviously no, right? That's just a test. I will paint first and then I will install the carpet. Why? Because I don't want to take a chance. I don't want to spill paint on the carpet. Well, what if you're in a hurry because you need to give up the lease in the old location? You have to rush the process. So what do you do if you want to rush the process? Well, you can do the painting and you can do the carpet at the same time. And you might say, well, you know, that's risky. You could spill the paint. Maybe. But what if I cover and I, take extra precautions and I cover the carpet and I paint, and this way, if I paint, or maybe use a paint that doesn't really drip, I don't know, but I could also cover the carpet, right? So that means I have to take precautions to minimize the risk, but it is possible to do painting and installing the carpet at the same time. I would prefer to do painting first, but if I'm in a hurry, I can do them at the same time. This is called fast tracking. What happens when you do fast tracking, you increase the risk. Obviously, the risk of paint falling on the carpet. But the cost in a way is the same, because although I'm finishing in 11 days, I'm still paying for 15 man days worth of work. I hope you can still all see that there's 15 man days worth of work. I can count 5 here, 5, 5. See, on these 2 days here, I'm paying for 2 people. There's 2, one person doing this set above, another person doing the second set. It's not going to be the same person. I'm overlapping, but I'm paying for this and I'm also paying for that one. So I'm still, in total, I'm still paying for 15 man days, but it is only taking 11 days because these activities, they overlap. So we say that fast tracking will speed up the project, but it will increase the risk. There's also crashing here, and what you see is that I'm not overlapping, but instead I am increasing the number of resources on specific activities. And instead of finishing in 5 days up above, I finished in 3 days, and then 4 days, and then 3 days, and I finished in 10 days. Question is, how many man days did I pay? Let's see if you can get this right. How many man days did I pay for? Did I pay for 10, 15, 20? I mean, how much did I pay? How many man days? 20. Because these are 10 days, right? Each having 2 people. So I'm paying for 20 man days. On any single day, I'm paying for 2 people. So 2 man efforts are actually going into that. So it's actually 20 man days. So in reality, crashing is more expensive, isn't it? Because I have to pay for 20 days, 20 man days. Over here, it would have taken me 15 days, but I'm paying for 15 man days. Here, I'm finishing in 10, but it's costing me 5 more man days. 5 more man days. It depends if I want to spend the money, and I can choose to not do crashing because it's too expensive for me. And I could decide that, let's wait 15 days. We'll sit on it. So these are compression techniques that you should be familiar with. You as a PM, you have to make decisions, right? And then in the end, you'll have maybe a more optimal schedule that your boss will be happy with, and that's called your schedule baseline. That is if they approve it, okay? Once they sign off and say, okay, I'm okay with the timeline on this project, then that becomes your project schedule.